It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and the wonderful people from Rita's Cafe are back. Check out Rita's Cafe, a fantastic selection of beer. This time they've sent me a beer from S43 Brewery, one of my favourite breweries of 2021. Now I believe this is called Schitthott. It's a German chocolate cake, Imperial coconut and pecan pastry stout coming in at 10% ABV. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure that sounds like... I said it to my wife. I said, I never swear on the channel. And she said, oh, for goodness sake, she said, you've got to pronounce the beer name as it is. I was going to call it Schitthott. She said, look, none of your followers are children. None of them are like, just go out and, you know, just the reason why I don't come out and kind of like do too much swearing on the channel is that I think in the future, YouTube, they're going to be kind of almost strangled so much by authority that they're going to make people put age rating in their videos. It's starting to happen now. And I thought to myself, from the very beginning, I could see it from the very beginning, 12 years ago, that somewhere along the line, this stuff is going to get censored. And you're going to have to go through a load of bureaucracy in terms of trying to put a video on YouTube. It used to be very, very easy. It's a little bit more difficult now. I think in the next 5 or 10 years, especially when kind of mainstream media carries on declining, carries on dying a death, they're going to start pointing blame. And when they point blame, some of these people have, or people in high places, and they can really kind of look at people like Twitch and YouTube and other streaming platforms where people want to look at stuff now these days. And they're going to start to knuckle down on people like me. So it's in my personal life, my mouth is a bit trashy. It really is. But when I do YouTube videos, I like to keep it as clean as I possibly can. Because I don't want all the bureaucracy of the future coming towards me in the future. I don't think I'll be able to deal with it all. I'll just go, oh, you know, whatever. I'll just let them take the video down or whatnot. But anyway, this beer, I've said it once. Let's get it out into a glass, see what we get. Good levels of smoke on the can opening. Beer in the glass. Whoa, it looks like engine oil. Look at that jet black engine oil. Pastry stout. It's going to be full of lactose and sweetness and sugars, and whoa, it's going to be an interesting one. A really interesting one. I have and most of you know this by now, I have a love-hate relationship with beers like this. Some of these pastry stouts I really like. There's a certain dryness to them. There's lots of roasted malt. But then there's some pastry stouts that I don't like. And they generally come from the supermarket. These supermarket pastry stouts where they're overly sweet. And they're full of adjuncts. And they're just completely not as dry. And there's no taste of roasted malt at all. But I got a feeling with this beer that this is going to be, fingers crossed, this is going to be a good beer from S43, because to be honest with you, I haven't had much bad from them. They've generally been a really good brewery. So what do we have? We have a 3-finger tan coloured head, big, thick, fantastic looking head on this beer. It's not going anywhere. It's not dissipating away at all. And just bear in mind that this beer is 10% ABV. Normally with a beer over 8, 9, hitting 10%, you wouldn't mind if the head dissipated as quickly as it did, because the alcohol kind of makes that dissipation happen. Which leans me into thinking immediately that we have lactose here rather than oats. But that's okay. That's okay. It's a pastry stout. Jet black. There's no light bleeding through here whatsoever. Let's get the aroma. Oh, my goodness me. That is so roasty. That is so roasty. That's put a natural smile on my face. The fact that I'm just not going to be getting a face full of sweetness. There's going to be some roasted malt in here. I can just smell it. It smells fantastic. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh, yes, 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 yes. This is great. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows. This is great. Vinous qualities, red wine qualities, dark berry qualities coming through. Blueberry, figs, prune, plum. Oh, lots of dark fruit, skinned, like the skin of dark fruit. That kind of sort of tannalized taste you get from the skin of a dark fruit. Oh, that is so good. So good. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows. What a great beer. Oh, I just want to savour it. I don't even want to speak at this moment. I just want to stand here and savour it. It is lactose. No doubt about it, it is lactose. But I think lactose... Now, again, I have a love-hate relationship with lactose. I generally say, please don't put lactose in my IPA. That's my rule of thumb. But in stouts, if done right, like they've done here, it's absolutely perfect. Now, lactose leans into sweetness. The sweetness of the malt leans into sweetness. And then sometimes brewers use like an artificial chocolate. And that just, all of that lean, I like a balanced beer. I like the balance between sweetness and bitterness. Roasted bitterness, sweetness. Hoppy bitterness, sweetness. As long as I got a balance, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. But the moment you start taking the bitterness away from the roasted malt, you stop using roasted malts, and then you start using things like milk chocolate, cocoa chocolate stouts with lactose and with malt, it just goes, you lose the balance. It just leans over too far. If you like sweetness in a beer, I'm pretty sure you'll love it. But for me, it's all about the balance. So yes, you have that sweet malt over there. You have that little bit of lactose over there too, that makes the beer naturally it gives the beer a really good mouthfeel. But to combat that, and this is important for me, really important, to combat all of that syrupy, kind of sweetness over there is the bitterness. The bitterness of the roasted malt has gone, bang, here we go, we're going to glide. We're going to glide, we're going to float through the sky. We're going to fly down, or we're going to be a circus entertainer where we're walking along that tightrope and we have balance. That is so important for me, really, really important. And for me, S43 Brewery here with their hot German chocolate cake, I was slightly nervous by the name German chocolate cake. I was thinking it's going to be like massively sweet. Is perfect. The bitterness on this beer reflects greatness for me. Absolute greatness. I don't mind lactose. Some people, they kind of accuse me as soon as I see lactose on the label, or as soon as I taste lactose, I'm kind of like, oh, I'm dead against it. I'm not dead against lactose. I'm not dead against lactose. I just want to see the lactose used in proportion, in balance. I want bitterness to counteract the sweetness that you naturally get from lactose. And again, S43 Brewery here have absolutely nailed it. There's flavours, the coconut is coming through. Coconut, the pecan, the nuttiness from the pecan is coming through. Look at the lacing on the glass. Look at that beer as I rock it back and forth. Absolutely wonderful. Sometimes I think, you know, and I think generally we're pointing at supermarket beer here. Sometimes a supermarket will bring out a load of new beers and I'll review them beers and I come out of it thinking, oh man, where's the beer world heading? Where is the beer world heading? Because they're selling these beers for £3 a can or £4 a can, and generally some of them are absolutely atrocious. They're really atrocious. And it pains me to think that the supermarkets have an influence on these craft brewers in saying, please produce something cheap with a great margin where we can all make lots of money, and we can bamboozle people into buying this beer because we've called it pineapple, lactose, honey milk, pale ale or whatever. The trouble is with that is that people who have been drinking craft beer for a long time, they know a certain standard of craft beer that should be kind of adhered to. They know a standard, a level that they want to be drinking at. And the moment you start ducking below that level, the moment you start messing about making these lactose pale ales with extra sugar and all of this horrible kind of sweet sour beer that's not sour, you're blurring the lines. You're blurring, even to the point, you're blurring the lines to the point where even people like me who've drunk over 8,000 beers are kind of questioning, oh man, what am I going to be getting from this pastry stout from a great brewery in S43? And I'm glad that this was sent to me by Rita's Pantry, because it shows that if used right and if made correctly, pastry stouts can be great. They really can be great. Gonna rate it. I absolutely love this beer. Absolutely lovely. The pecan comes through, the coconut comes through, the sweetness comes through from the lactose, but importantly, the bitterness is there to balance everything out. This is a Stone the Crows 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 beer from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.